the Durham Miners Gala with
Annie.
Annie.
Revolutionary Communist Group.
Yeah, Revolutionary Communist Group. And what does this gala mean to you as a socialist? What do you think?
Well, it's actually only the second time I've been to the Miners Gala. So for me personally, I guess it's really important for us to get our politics out to a lot of people at once. It's really busy, like a lot of people come down for it, and it's just like a great place for like other leftists, like to meet other leftists.
Yeah. And how does your group differ to the other groups here? What sets it out? What's your vision for socialism?
I'd say one important factor is that we heavily criticise the Labour Party. We see the Labour Party in Britain as the expression and also the biggest barrier for social revolution in Britain. It holds us back so much. We have our book, Labour Party Fit for Imperialism, that really goes over how the Labour Party is since its conception being a party for compromise with the ruling class at the expense of the working class. Right. It's a racist imperialist party, and that's what we try and get across on every stall and every protest.
Yeah. As Socialist Party share your stance, and I believe the Socialist Appeal have had to kind of adopt it to being kicked out of the Labour Party, so maybe it doesn't set you out so much anymore, but you're an actual political party you can vote for in elections.
No, again, you think parliamentary politics, it's you can't dismantle the master's house with the master's tools. These are institutions that are set up to maintain the status quo. So revolution can only happen through revolutionary means, and that's not voting.
And so what will it take to implement the vision the Revolutionary Socialist Party has to achieve socialism? How do you see it coming about if you don't see it through a political means?
I think it's really hard because at the minute in Britain, there isn't there isn't much happening. I think looking so far in the future of an actual socialist revolution is almost it's so abstract at this point, because what we have in Britain right now is no political action whatsoever. So I think the first step to achieving any kind of possibility of socialist revolution would be to build an organisation that sees the Labour Party for what it is, that sees parliamentary politics for what they are, and in holding back the working class, and being internationalist, being anti-imperialist, so against Britain's kind of role in the world, where its very existence is based on the exploitation of other countries, on the looting and plunder of the rest of the globe. So I think that's the place to start, is to be anti-imperialist and to expose the imperialist Labour Party.
What are your thoughts on the recent strike wave, and do you think that presented a chance for revolution, through the workers? Do you feel like that has died down, or is it just an ebb and flow? What do you see? Where do you see a revolution going, the revolutionary cause going in the next few years?
We really support the strikes. We really support all of the trade unions that have been going on strike, all the workers that have been going on strike, without pay, to try and get their demands met. We think that trade unionism in Britain does have its limitations, in that making political demands for better pay and better working conditions is a great place to start, but then it's going further, actually dismantling the system, not just asking for reforms within it.
Yeah. It's interesting. And you don't think that the reforms can be part of the road to socialism, to revolution, or do you think that they're how should I say it, suppressing the revolutionary fervour? Is that how you would say it? Or?
I think it really does depend, because I think, you say, reforms can have their place within a kind of revolutionary political movement, but it definitely depends, because if like a reform is like the be-all end-all demand of like the movement, then like, well, that's where it's going to end, you know. So it's kind of like making sure like the movement has broader demands, that the movement, you know, isn't like just going to stop when it's like when like that demand is met, and sees like that reform as like one rung in the ladder, you know.
All right. Well, that's been very good to get your views. Thank you.